Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Chrissy. Friends, welcome back. I am here for another sit down about Boys Planet. I do apologize that I missed episode 8. I did not do a recap for episode 8 last week, so I figured I would combine it with episode 9, seeing as we completed the missions for both episodes. It's been a little crazy at work, friends. I've been a little cuckoo bananas, so I just haven't had some time to sit down last week, but here I am, and we are going to just talk briefly about the performances, because I know you guys love a good kiki, and I do too. So, episode 8 was interesting for me. I was excited going into this mission in general, because I really wanted to see some of my faves, who I'm like rooting really hard for, and how they would do in a song or a performance that was more in like their wheelhouse. Like, for example, you guys already know I'm a Zhangxing defender, and I was excited to see him perform like an actual rap song, because he is a rapper and I love him, and I was like, let me see how he does. I was excited to see Hanwin. I really wanted to see Yoonmin this time around, because I'm just hopping on the Yoonmin train, okay? But in any case, we start off episode 8, and I'm not going to go into too much like filler detail about the episode, more so just talking about performances. But episode 8 had me giggling, because they started off the episode waking the boys up, and the alarm was literally Sola. It's like, y'all traumatizing these boys for good, that's for sure. So in this episode, in episode 8, we have a focus on 3 main performances. We have XXL by Young Posse. We have Hot. Girl, what is Hot? Who sings that again? I literally forget who sings that one. I always forget, and I forgot to write it down because I'm trash, but Hot by One Time. That's who it is. So Hot, and then we have Like Jenny by Miss Queen Jenny, of course. So let's start with the first performance with XXL. This one I was interested to see. I know in episode 7 we saw a little bit of a Arctic showcase with him and his dancing, which was not even aware that boy could dance like that. So I was excited to see him in this, and as well as Yoonsa, which is my son. And I just really think that Yoonsa is so talented. He's such a talented human for being like the literal being that he is, the child that he is. It blows my mind. So going into this performance, I really didn't know what to expect. I was laughing though, because because there was a part where Yoonsa is like talking with like production. He's just like, it's going too well. Like, something's going too well. Like, there's gotta be, it's Mnet. Like, something's about to crash and burn. And I was literally like, Yoonsa, please, bestie, I cannot with you. It was funny, and I think it's because they had like a really good midpoint check. Like, I think that correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the judges ranked them as like one of the best for like their midpoint check or like interim check. So this team actually has 4 members. It's Yoonsa, Jinyu, Jiayoung, I always pronounce the name wrong, I'm sorry, and Arctic. I will say overall the performance was so good, and like the 4 of them together have really good energy together. I personally just think though, like the star for me, which once again, it's just mind-blowing to me, the star for me in this performance is Yoonsa. I genuinely think that he has such an incredible career ahead of him. Being that good as a middle school child is wild to me. He's such a good dancer. I'm always so gagged when I watch him dance. I'm like, there's no way. Like, there's literally no way. But he's so talented overall and always pulls like a performance together well. Arctic, of course, is such a good dancer. The other 2, like Jinyu and Jiayoung, like they have such good chemistry. The performance was well done, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. And a really good way to like start these performances. But like I said, I think the star for me was definitely Yoonsa, just because he just is always like mind-boggling me with his talent. The second performance we had in this performance was Hot by One Time. Now, I feel like anytime we talk about a group with Zhangxing, it's always a little interesting. Okay, it's always a little interesting. You guys already know I will defend this boy with my life. But we had another little situation, another little mishap happen for this one. So basically we see, listen, I see a little bit of a revival in Zhang in this performance. So before I go into this, we have Zhang, Jihao, Li Zhang, and Bo Hang. So the majority of these people, like the trainees here, these are all Chinese trainees except for Li Zhang. Li Zhang's the only Korean trainee in here. And so basically this is important for like my observation for this group. I think, okay, at first, we have Zhang, who looks like he's a little happier than normal, okay, because they're just draining the spirit from my boy, all right? They are just draining every ounce of happiness from him, and it's making me sad. Turns out that Zhang becomes the leader of this group, which, absolutely, let's go, leader Zhang. But in my head, I'm like, let's get it together, bestie boy. Let's pull it together. We can do it. I believe in you. I've been rooting for you. We're all rooting for you. Whether it be the editing, which it's clearly like the editing was weird on this one, because basically what happens is like they're practicing, and there was a little bit of like a disagreement between Zhang and between Li Zhang as to what they were going to do first. Like, I forget I think it was Li Zhang that wanted to work on the formation of the performance, where Zhang was like, let's work on like the lyrics and like this, you know, whatever, because they're writing their own lyrics too for these like rap verses. And there was a little bit of a disagreement, which once again, I think people keep forgetting that these Chinese trainees literally were forced to merge on the K-Planet. Okay, they don't know Korean that well, so it's crazy to me that they are literally being like forced to, obviously, like they have to learn a new language, and now they have to write like Korean rap verses, and like it's just crazy. But him and Li Zhang don't see eye to eye on that, whereas like Zhang, respectively, I would be like, okay, he's a Chinese trainee. He probably wants to focus on the lyrics, because that's obviously what counts too. Like, this is a rap battle. So here we go. Like, I understand him in that perspective. The way that they edited this and the way that they made it feel was that like after one single piece of advice, Zhang was like, gotta go, peace. And he like went to production, and you hear them in like with production being like, you know, trying to leave, and then they deny the request for him to leave, or like whatever the case may be. And then he's like, I gotta go, guys, like I gotta peace out. And then they just like, it just, the timing of the edit was so odd. I'm like, I don't believe that he would just peace the hell out as the leader because of one small little suggestion from Li Zhang, or them like not seeing eye to eye on one thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It seemed weird again, but once again, like I just don't trust Mnet and their editing. It's so fucking bizarre. In any case, moving on, we have Li Zhang and we have Zhang with a little talk. They have a little talk together before the performance, and you know, basically just Zhang wanting like Li Zhang to trust him, and Li Zhang like realizing how like he feels and like coming to him, which, to be fair, like I have so much respect for Li Zhang for that purpose only too, because I just, once again, like I hate to always be the Zhang crazy ass defender that I am, but truly I think a lot of people like fail to see things from his perspective. And as someone who, if anyone knows his past with like his company and like how his whole story ended up, it's very sad. And I feel like, you know, finally having someone like take the initiative to like talk it out and be like, listen, like let's work on this, like if I want you to trust me in the performance, like to be a leader. And then Li Zhang being like, I'm sorry if I made you feel some type of way, like XYZ. So I appreciated the whole exchange between the both of them. And it turns out I feel like that really worked in their favor, because this performance right here was one of my favorite performances out of all the mission songs. And I hate to say it's because of Zhang, but I'm going to say it definitely is. And to overlook, like, I'm so sorry, like overlooking Zhang's talent as a rapper is wild to me, because he is so insanely talented. I've been saying this since day one. If anybody has watched any of his pre-trainee stuff, he is an incredible vocalist and he is an incredible rapper. And not only that, but he rapped in fucking like Mandarin, like he's out here Mandarin, he's out here in Korean. He's killing it. Okay, the flow is on point, the energy is on point. I love his like tone when he raps. It was just so good. Bohang as well. I also love the lyrics because they were like shutting bitches down. They were like really just talking their shit on, you know, Mnet being shitty and like evil editing and all that other stuff. I loved it. But Bohang was incredible. Jihao was super funny with the cardboard cutout. I was crying. Sungwon catching a stray. Like it's really funny to me. And Lee Jung as well did amazing. I thought the four of them did really great, but for me, I think like Zhang Jing truly did carry. He was just like the star for me. That performance I've actually gone back to, I think the most out of like every single one. So I really enjoyed that one. And it turned out too that like Lee Jung and Zhang Jing both got all-star at the end. And I really wanted that for Zhang Jing. Like I was really looking forward to some sort of like a redemption period for him to at least show something, because, you know, back at the beginning of the show when they had just the Sea Planet, I swear if they had Sea Planet alone and didn't do a merge, he would have been so much more popular than he is now and would not have gotten these edits, and he would have been like up there in rank, because right from the get-go, like right from the first episode, he was like already iconic with his like sexy battle and trying to like take the #1 chair and him like looking like that. You know what I mean? Like it's just good TV, like good TV, funny and charismatic. And I wanted him to have a redemption. So in any case, that's how I feel about that performance. The last performance of this episode, we had Like Jenny, and this was with Sungwon, Harry Jun, Chingyu, Hyunjun, and Junmin, which is a crazy combination of people, because right there alone, like I feel like too with Harry Jun, Chingyu, and Hyunjun, the dancers, the choreographers, crazy. So why did I write this down? I wrote down something about just this. I said in my notes, just this, so fucking petty. And I don't remember. Oh, damn it. I wish I did like a little watch through before making this recap again. It's been like a whole week since I've watched episode 8 and I forget what happened. But if I remember correctly, like there was something going on with this group. I think with Junmin too. Like Junmin was losing his confidence. My mic. I think what happened is Junmin was kind of realizing, you know, he's got like Sungwon in here. He's got some members that are like really good dancers and like all this stuff, which is crazy because Junmin is wild. Like he's such an insane performer. I realized who Junmin reminds me of, and he reminds me a lot of San. And whether that be in like the face, like the eyes, the way his eyes are when he performs, like that gaze, whether it be the intensity, like something like that. Every time I watch Junmin, I'm like, who does he remind me of? And I realized it's San. But with that being said, he was not feeling too hot. He was feeling a little not so confident. And Miss Connie, the queen that she is like, I would vote for you. You're my #1. I'm a Junmin stan. And I think like that little hug and exchange from Connie kind of like helped him a little bit. And I thought that was really cute. But it's crazy to me to think that Junmin is feeling that way just because he's so incredibly talented himself. But I guess because of the other members that he was in the group with, which they tried to tell him, they were like, listen, just because you're up against like these people, like you're just as good. You know what I mean? So, what was this? Someone in there. Okay, I have one more note that I'm confused about. And someone was like, did someone mention something about a birth chart? They're like, I need to see Sungwon's birth chart or something. I forget what it was, but I wrote it down in quotes and I don't remember why, but in any case, me. Moving on. The whole performance was incredible. I expected that. Harry Jun choreographed, first of all, which, hello, like if you're gonna have Harry Jun choreograph a performance, it's gonna be fucking crazy. Harry Jun was incredible. My hot take though, I really think the two standouts for me. Obviously, Sungwon. Like, I think Sungwon is just a superstar. I think he's a superstar no matter where you put him. I feel like the attention is just going to be drawn to Sungwon right from the beginning with, it's going to be fucking hard. Like, I know for a fact, like, anywhere you put him in a center part, in a performance, he is going to eat it up, and his energy matches so well. It's the same as how I felt about him. I dropped my pen. The same about how I felt about him in Whiplash, where if you have a like a girl group song, especially, sometimes I feel like the way that the energy is portrayed, whether it be like a more like masculine or more like a softer like feminine vibe, really depends like how you're gonna sell that performance to me. And I think, like I said before, like Sungwon is more like he looks like softer a little bit, and he has more like sometimes like more like graceful, like a more graceful way of dancing, which is why I thought he did so well in Whiplash for the killing part, for what he had. And I think that's why he worked so well in like Jenny for me, because it's just like I feel like you need that little bit of like cuntiness, like the softer like cuntiness to like really sell it, and Sungwon has that. So he was incredible. I do think that Harry Jun and Chingu were standouts for me, and that dance break, they were so good, and I literally will die on this hill that those are my two sons. I wish that they ranked higher. I voted for them. I've been voting for them like since the start of the program. It's been so crazy to me to have to dwindle down to like 3-4 people to vote for, because genuinely, if we're talking like realistically, I would want those two in a group together. I just think they're so talented when it comes to like dancing, choreography, like they are incredible, and it makes me so mad to see that their ranks are so high, or low, I should say. But overall, the team themselves did really well, and yeah, it was expected. Like for me, it's expected. Like I expected nothing less. I expected nothing less than a crazy performance. I do forget though. I'm not really talking so much about the ranks of them all, but if I remember correctly, did Harry Jun rank low? I forget if there's something that happened with that, because I remember like people being salty because he like choreographed the whole thing and then something happened. But in any case, for me, it was iconic, and I really enjoyed it. So that's how I feel about that performance. We moved into episode 9. What do I have written here? Oh, that's what it was. This funny ass shit. First of all, the opening. I always have to talk about the opening of the episodes are so funny to me. Sungwon. And I mentioned this too. Sungwon is literally, if anyone's from Massachusetts or from like New England, Sungwon is the epitome of the mass art student. He's the mass art student. He is like the liberal arts major or like the art major that likes to just like carry his tote bag around campus and like read and be like super educated on like, you know, feminism and like gender equality, and like we stan him. You know what I mean? Like that's my type. That's my type of like mass college of art. Seeing him at the beginning of this episode, just like this little bookworm ass. I think he is so cute. I love Sungwon is such an endearing human. I just adore him so much. Then we had like Shinlong and Yoonsa. Why did I write them down? There was something somebody was using. Was it Chingyu was using Sunghyun as like a table? He had like food and he was like eating the food off of Sunghyun's stomach. And then Shinlong and Yoonsa, I forget why I wrote them down, but they're always doing some cute shit. That's father and son. Oh, that's why. Shinlong was getting Yoonsa ready for school. And I was like, my God, that is father. Literally Yoonsa's father in this show. I thought it was the cutest thing ever. I will cry if I talk about Shinlong for too long, because he is just the sweetest human being in the world. I'm genuinely convinced like there's not a mean-spirited bone in his body, but I digress. Moving on to the performances for this fucking microphone is not being nice to me today. Okay, and then I muted myself. I was saying that as a carrot, Having 17's Run to You as one of the mission songs was really cool for me. This is one of my faves. I love this song so much. We have Yoonmin, Woojin, Haengyu, Sen. And so what's crazy to me is that I'm very late to Yoonmin. I'm very late, and I'm really sad about it. I feel like if Yoonmin got more screen time, and if they showcased more parts of him throughout the show, I would have been voting for Yoonmin from the start. And I'm very upset at the fact that it took an M Countdown behind the scenes clip of him singing Jungkook's 7 for me to realize that he is such an incredible vocalist. I'm so upset about it. I will never get over it. This is my Andrew Han moment of this episode, where I'm like, you fucking trash ass Mnet for not showing me this boy's talent. Because, dude, Yoonmin's vocal tone alone is like, it's so beautiful and unique, and I'm just like, where has he been? Like, why have we not been focusing on this? You know what I mean? Like, he's so good. And so I was excited to hear him, especially Woojin, because you guys know Woojin, Haengyu as well. Those are like my two that I've been kind of voting for vocals. Sen, on the other hand, is having a little he's having a little confidence issues, I believe. Is that what happened? I'm trying to remember back. I think Sen is having a little bit of a moment. And this poor boy, like, I just remember from his audition when he had to say goodbye to his friend, when he auditioned with his friend, he's been like breaking my heart since day one. But I will say the moment of Woojin comforting Sen was so adorable and like endearing once again too. I think Woojin too is another one up there with like Shinlong, where I just feel the energy of him being like the sweetest being in the whole world. I can't believe how low Woojin's rank is too. Like, you know what's crazy to me? How did we get there with Woojin? From the very beginning, with him doing Miss Boa as his audition, and everyone like gagging and gooping over his vocals, and like me, I've been voting for him since day one. How are we at a place where like Woojin is not in the top 8 yet? And I'm praying to God, like I'm praying to Jesus the Lord, that the next elimination episode I see that boy in the top 8, because how is he not? He's like, that's a main vocalist, you know what I mean? It's crazy to me. But anyway, him comforting Sen was really sweet, and I really like felt for Sen in that one. But the performance alone, I was gagged at Yoonmin's vocals, dude. When I tell you, Yoonmin has me in a fucking chokehold. Like, I am so dead serious. Like, please, I don't even know what the results are for the upcoming semifinals. Like, I hope to God that Yoonmin is not voted off. I hope he's not eliminated. Yoonmin! You know what I mean? So we'll see how that plays out. I remember the harmonies had me ascending, dude. They harmonized so well. They sounded so beautiful together. Haengyu was hitting notes. Haengyu's such a good vocalist as well. But you know what? I feel like Yoonmin really... I have written down here too, like, he gagged me with like his melody changes, like the key melody changes were so smart. Like the way that he has, I think Yoonmin, like listening to him in that performance and just in some of other stuff that I've heard him sing in, he has a very good ear for music. Like he has a very good way of like changing stuff up. Like he just knows like a smart choice, like a smart music choice, and it's really impressive for me to listen to. But his harmonies and the melody changes were so good. Sen was super stable as well and sounded so great. Woojin as well, like Woojin and Sen both sounded incredible. And just in general, like I thought the whole song, like the whole performance was really great. The thing is too with that song though, is I have like sometimes with 17's Run to You, I feel like people have a tendency to be really fast, like on the beat, and also like some of the vocals are very, very high. Like the range is kind of high. So to see them all like hitting everything and like being stable, like on key, like it was fantastic. What gagged me the most was Ujin with the lowest score at 860 points. That's what gagged me the most. I was like, what do you mean? Ah! What are we doing? Like, can Ujin have a moment, please? Yeah, but it is what it is. I mean, we'll see how the ranking plays out. But overall, one of my fave performances as well. The next one we had, which, y'all, this fucking performance. Okay, Smoke by Dynamic Duo. This was with Yechen and Yichen. Now, before we go into anything about this is Tom and Jerry. Okay, Yichen and Yechen are Tom and Jerry. I cannot with these two. Like, watching them, I'm just like, it's like a bouncing ball. I'm like, girl, can you guys, can you figure it out, please? It's so funny. Basically, we had some disagreements, okay? We had some disagreements between the two of them. I think... what was their disagreement even on, dude? I forget what they were even... All I remember is Yichen being like, if I was the leader, I wouldn't do that. And Yechen was like, bitch, shut up. He's like, what are you talking about? Once again, I think, too, like, Yichen is a victim of the merge. Because in their like, midpoint check, he was mispronouncing a lot of lyrics. And once again, I think that that's just, you know, he is a Chinese trainee. I feel like, hello, like, y'all force these boys to merge. So, like, let's stop fucking nitpicking every single mispronunciation that we can have from Chinese trainees. Do you know what I mean? Like, it really pisses me off. I think that pisses me off more than anything, to be fair. But there was a suggestion where... Yechan suggested that they make the performance kind of like a diss battle. So, like, the concept of the performance is, like, them dissing each other, which is so funny because I think Yechan was dead ass. Like, he was like, you know, it would be so funny if we made, like, a little diss battle concept. And Yechan was like, oh, yeah, that would be great. Meanwhile, Yechan was like, I'm in it for myself, bitch. He's like, I don't care. He's like, I don't care. He's like, to be completely honest, like, I am here to, you know, I'm not interested in winning as a duo. I was like, oh, he's for real. Like, he's for real, for real. It, like, made me giggle so hard. I was like, wow, shit. We get to the performance, okay? Let me tell you something. I have peeped some Yichen content over the weeks. Nothing crazy. Just seen a little something here and there. Yichen is fine as fuck. Yichen is so fine. And I know that I'm late because of, like, I think he was on Project 7. People have showed me some clips and videos and pictures of him from Project 7. But I obviously, like, I haven't watched it, so I didn't know. I will tell you, I am, like, girl, that is body My mic said you're not going to speak about Yichen today. Body tea. Body freaking tea. He is so freaking hot. I was like, damn, okay, abs, like, crazy shit. Both of them did really well. I will say, like, Yechen's flow is incredible. He's an incredible rapper. I think he ate up that stage completely. Yichen did really well as well. I just think, I do think that Yechen was more, like, refined in his flow and his verse and everything like that. But the energy was there and definitely what I needed. Girl, I'm not gonna lie. I really felt like I was watching, like, 8 Mile. I was like, Yechen was so serious with this diss suggestion moment. Like, they were up in each other's faces. Yechen was being like, I'm a better rapper. Yichen was being like, bitches love me better. I am bitches. They were really going at it. It was crazy. It was crazy to watch, but I really liked the concept with like the boxing ring and everything like that. So it was a really good performance. And I was living my best life. Like the drama was great. The performance was great. The rapping was great. Like I said, I do think Ye Chen kind of took that one for me in the performance just because he is such like a well refined rapper. But Ye Chen also did incredible, and he's so fine. I can't even get over it. Overall, Ye Chen ends up winning, so that's great. He really ate. Like, Ye Chen really ate. The next performance we had was, oh God, I forgot about this, and now I'm gonna be reliving this. Okay, we had Bad by Christopher. My baby's bad, you know. And this one was with Dongyu, Masato, and Junsa. Girl. Okay. Let me give my thoughts. So, Dongyu. Oh, Dongyu, the choreographer that you are. The choreographer, the fucking all-arounder that Dongyu is. Why are we not talking about Dongyu? The all-arounder that he is. He creates the entire choreo for these boys. The entire freaking choreo. I personally thought that going into this performance, the main person that was going to gag me down was Junsa, which he does. We'll get to it. Actually, you know what? We'll get to it. Just please hold. So we have Dongyu coming up with the choreo, literally working overtime, bitch, putting in hours. He is making sure that these boys have a choreo, that it is good. Just given all of his might, okay? Basically Masato is kind of like struggling a little bit. And Junsa basically tells him, he's like, straight up, like, if you're dancing like this, girl, you're gonna lose your all-star status. Like, if you're performing like this, like, you're gonna lose your all-star status, so we need to, like, kick it up a little bit. Which I enjoyed. Like, I like Junsa and his straightforwardness, and I think Masato, one thing I really like about Masato and, like, admire about him, and I have to say, is, like, he is a very diligent person. I like the fact that he can take criticism like that, and it makes him work harder rather than just being like I'm like depressed now and I'm just gonna like sit off to the side and like not do shit, and like, you know what I mean? Like, Masato is really always putting in 100%. You could see it from like the very first episodes when he was like going into like the freaking all-stars Yumeki's boot camp, and he was trying to like learn choreo and like learn from others and like work extra, and he's in the hallways with Junsa, and Masato is always working super hard, and he takes constructive criticism and he makes himself better, and I really admire him for that. I think that's something that a lot of people kind of don't give him credit for, especially with him being in the top 8, and a lot of people have like, it's very divided. Masato being in the top 8 is always divided from what I see, at least, and I always think credit should be given where it's due, and Masato works really hard, and he puts in the effort and wants to be better and doesn't, kind of like shrink when he is given some sort of feedback. So I love that. The performance was interesting. Dude, I just have to tell you, for me, Dongyu is taking it. He is taking this performance. Oh, baby, he took it. Oh, and that all-black outfit. Ooh, and the all-black outfit looks so good. He's so talented. He's such an all-arounder. He's such a good dancer. He choreographed that whole thing. He's an insane rapper. He's an insane vocalist. Like, what can't Dongyu do? And even Miss Connie said it. She was like, dang, Dongyu. Like, yeah, girl, I know. He really shocked me in this one. And that face card, too. He's beautiful. He is so fucking talented. Junsa, him in that one part. Girl, we know what part we're talking about. First of all, that outfit. Don't give me a white t-shirt with a black armband. Don't do it. It'll always fuck up my spirit, okay? But that part, we know the part, that dance break part. God, Dongyu was crazy for choreographing that. But Junsa just, yeah, he chewed it up. And Masato too, like the center portions that Masato had, I was like, okay, you better work, my king. Like, Masato was chewing. He was. At some point, I was like, damn, okay. Like, he's giving. I realized, too, like, Masato has really pretty body lines when he dances. So, I was getting my life. I thought the whole performance was incredible. Yeah, Connie, I have it here. Connie said Dongyu stole the stage, and I could not agree more. The results resulted in Sato ended up with 2-star and the other 2 all-star. So Junsa and Dongyu had all-star and Sato ended up with 2-star. But you know what? I think that the 3 of them worked really well together and they really pulled it together and it was a really memorable performance. So proud of them for that one. Next up, we have, oh, this one's interesting. Okay, we have Tambourine by Eve. This one is Kaiwen, Yumeki, Xiahao, Hanwen, Satsuki, and Shuren. Anytime we have Yumeki choreographing for a group, I just know that we're gonna be okay. You know, anytime we have Yumeki in a group, I know the choreography is gonna be set. I know we're gonna be good, we're gonna be dancing, we're gonna be clean. Yumeki runs, he runs that shit like boot camp. He does. He really does. He is not fucking around, and I love that. What made me kind of sad in this one, of course, so Meki is coming up with the choreography, right? And we have a little moment where Shuren is kind of upset because there's, I mean, how many people are there? 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's 6 people in this performance. And Shuren is upset because obviously, like, with the distribution of parts and all that, he doesn't really have a lot of time to, like, show himself. You know what I mean? It's like a... So he kind of expresses that and gets a little upset about it. And I felt bad about it because I do understand, but what made me kind of heartbroken was the fact that he starts to cry and he basically was like, you guys, like, you guys have popularity or fans and like everyone likes you. He's like, I don't really have anyone, you know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of people who like are, you know, I'm not that popular in like a roundabout way. And we see Hanwen embracing him, like, my sweetie Hanwen, my baby Hanwen, I love Hanwen, embracing him, just like hugging him. Kaiwen's handing him tissues, you know what I mean? Like, it's a whole scene, and I feel for Shuren, I really do, because Shuren is really talented. And I feel that, like, when you're in a group basically with like all members that have like high popularity, and then you're there and you have like 1 second to show yourself, it's like, well, go fuck me, I guess. Like, I guess, like, this is just the end for me. And I can feel the frustration. Like, I can understand where that emotion and that frustration comes from him, especially after like that scene of him kind of like not too happy, like, in dance practice. But what I will say too, and I will give Yumeki this, is that I really appreciate Yumeki for always being open-minded and being empathetic towards people. I think that's something that I've noticed from Yumeki that has kind of made me grow to really like adore him and like him a lot, is the fact that he is always very receptive to like how other people are feeling, especially being like a hard, because I feel like Yumeki's kind of a hard ass, especially when he's choreographing. Like, when you're a choreographer and you're dancing, like, he's in the zone, you know what I mean? But for him to always have that ability to kind of like empathize with someone is really, like, for me, that's like a good quality in someone. And in this scene, you can see that he like feels bad and he's like, am I not being a good leader? Like, am I not, you know, I feel bad for my teammates. And he goes and he spends time revising the choreography, and like that really shows a lot for me for Yumeki. Like, that shows the character of him, and I really have to say, like, I give him so much respect for that alone. The performance was fantastic. Like, oh my god, choreography eats down. Yumeki is such an insane I don't know how he comes up with the things that he does. He's a monster when it comes to choreo. The choreo was so clean and so like well made, so intense. It was incredible. I will say Kaiwen is always a standout for me, because Kaiwen has just this crazy energy and this crazy aura. He like commands the stage. Whenever he comes to the front, he always just shines. Maybe it's that smile, like I don't know what it is, but Kaiwen did so well. I will say too, like Shuren, I mean, I feel like the distribution for the time that they got to show themselves was really great. I think Yumeki did a really good job with the choreo and like changing that choreo up so that they could all kind of like have a little bit of a spotlight. And I thought that they all did incredible. Like, Shuren did really well. I mean, Yumeki is the choreographer, and he eats. And there's a little part with Yumeki, too, where he had a little, like, it was like a little zesty moment. And I was like, yes, Yumeki, okay. He's everything. I love Yumeki. And then Xiahao as well. Ooh, okay. I have to speak on Xiahao. Ooh, I have to speak on him. I can't believe we haven't, like, talked about him yet. Y'all. That boy, his face card is the most lethal shit that I've ever seen. And speaking of like face cards, because I was talking about Kaiwen and that energy, when Xiahao literally steps up to a camera, I genuinely am like, it's so crazy to me. Like, I'm telling you, this is why I'm so pissed, because if we had BOYSPLANET, I know that he'd be in the top 8. I literally know it. Can he pull a Ricky? Like, number 4, let's go. Because genuinely, that face, the energy, the nonchalantness, and the way that he performs is so attractive. I think Connie or one of the masters said something like that too, where when he's like, I forget what dance move it was, but he was like going to the side and he was just like, just deadpan, so nonchalant, so just like even keeled energy, and it just is so impactful. But yeah, Xiahao is wild. And then Hanwen and Satsuki, he's a really good dancer too. I feel like we don't really get to see a lot of Satsuki because of, just Mnet doesn't show him a lot, but I have to give him his flowers for being such an incredible dancer, and such a cutie. Love him. And you guys already know my baby Hanwen. Like, that's my baby. That is literally my baby. I've been voting for him as number 1 since the start of this show because I love him so much. He is literally the sweetest pumpkin muffin of my life. And he looked so good. And he's just a good dancer. Like, Hanwen's a really good dancer. I wish that he would have another chance to showcase his vocals. I don't want to get too upset about it. I'm hoping that he survives to semis, but we'll see what happens. But overall, the performance is really great. I will say I was very sad for Yumeki because he gets the lowest score at 720. Like, my heart really hurt for him, especially being the one that choreographed the entire thing and like put all that effort in. And he got the lowest score, which was really sad. But I hope that he knows, like, how well he did. He even said, he was like, it's a win for me. Like, my team was happy. Like, he's a sweetheart. Yumeki's a sweetheart. Love him dearly. Next one we have is Rose Blossom by High Key. This was with Hanum, Dongyun, Liu, Honghai, and Junil. Y'all. When I tell you, there was a part in this package when they were showing them performing now, or not performing, but practicing. So we all know by now, like, Hanum is climbing. He's climbing because I think people are finally realizing how insane Hanum's vocal tone, range, everything is. Like, how his vocal chops are just incredible, okay? Girl, they had this whole group. He's sitting there, and everyone's going through the lyrics, and they're trying to sing. They can't hit shit. They're not hitting notes. They're not hitting anything. All I see is Hanum just like the side-eye death glare that he gives had me cackling. And it probably was, maybe it was intentional, maybe it wasn't, but the way that it was edited had me screaming. I was like, he is so judgy boots right now. Like, he is judging the fuck out of them, which honestly, rightfully so, because for me, I'm getting a little frustrated in this show. I think everyone is, at the fact that, we are now almost at the semifinals. If you cannot carry a tune, if you cannot hit a note, it's frustrating. Bear with me. Stick with me. Okay, ride this wave with me real quick, friends. Just wait for it. So for me, like, hearing, who was it? I think it was June or Honghai. No. Junoo, maybe it was Liu and Junoo, and they were very like off key, very like it was not giving. I'm like, girl, come on, like let's get it together. We're almost at semifinals. We need to sing. Let's go. Like I feel like Hanum right now, where I'm like, do you know what I mean? However, I will say this performance was better than I expected. It was better than I expected, and I know I'm like a walking hypocrisy because I've talked about like Liu before. Let's talk about Liu. I've talked about Liu before where I was kind of confused as to how he ended up in the top 8. I'm going to be honest. Again, like if you guys haven't watched my prior reactions or like recaps, I don't understand that situation. I started to understand it after the the To Us plot twist performance where I was like, I get it now. I get the Liu girlies. But then we hit this edit with him like not able to sing properly in practice, and I was like, oh no, we're going back here again. And I was just like, okay, if you're in the top 8 and you're an all-star especially, we should be able to sing. All right, this is what we should be able to do. I feel like Daddy I'm Net right now. Like I feel like I'm really like, let's go, let's fucking go. I feel like I'm Hanum given the side eye. But I thought Liu sounded fantastic. Besides that one vocal crack he had, like that one voice crack, he sounded really pretty. Everyone sounded so pretty. They were all just like on key. They were all giving like harmony. I thought that they sounded great, stable, everything. Liu sounded great. But I will tell you once again, like no one in my book is beating Hanum. Like that boy's vocals he is so incredible. The vocals are crazy for Hanum, with Hanum. Like, I know, I can see, too, with his rank going up and, like, getting higher. I think that he's gonna, like, shock some people. That's just my hot take. But the vocals do not lie with that boy. And we clearly heard that through the entire performance. So, I think for me, he kind of, like, carried that performance a little bit. The performance overall was really great. There hasn't been a single performance that actually... I lied. We'll talk about that. But I thought that the performance was good. I didn't think it was like super spectacular, but I think that Hanum made it better for me because of his vocal choices, because of just the way he sings and all that. So overall, it was a good performance. I think everyone just did great. They did good. Hanum was incredible. So that's where I'll leave that one at. The next one we have is Famous by All Day Project. We ain't even famous. Don't you try me. I want some more. This was with Sawon, Taejo, and Jaehyun. We had a little bit of a Taejo, Jaehyun killing part. I will say Taejo is another being of mine, another son of mine who I have respect for just the sheer fact that he's like very professional at a young age. Especially this part where they're kind of going back and forth with like who's going to get the killing part. And then Taejo has a very mature mindset as to why he's going to let Jaehyun keep the killing part. I thought that was very selfless of him. I thought that was incredible of him. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, we're being honest. It's a recap, okay? This performance was my least favorite of the entire mission. And I think for me, like Taejo, I thought Taejo did incredible. Jaehyun did really well as well. I know he was like practicing really hard. He has good energy. Sawon as well was really great. Like he was stable and everything. But I think kind of like what we saw in the package before with the masters during like the interim check was like, this song is difficult because you can rush the beat really fast. And they even said that in the, like with the masters, they said like, you're ahead of the beat. For me, watching the actual performance, it was good. Everyone did well, I guess. But there was like a weird energy for me. Maybe I had to like go back and rewatch it or something, but it felt like everyone was fighting for the beat and like, not clashing, but I felt like we were trying to chase the beat. I felt like something was off. The phrasing of the rap verses and the vocals were off. I think Taejo for me was like the number one. I think he did the best. But with the others and just overall, like a mesh, I felt like we were fighting for something. I felt like the phrasing was off. I feel like there was like a half beat being like rushed or like behind. Like it was just weird. I don't know. I don't know. I need to go back and like rewatch the performance again, but my initial was like, oh, I didn't love this performance at all. There was something missing for me. Even though like I thought Hyunjun like did really well, or Jaehyun, sorry, not Hyunjun. Jaehyun did really well, and Taejo is really great. Someone's a great vocalist, but it just wasn't my favorite, and I'll just leave it at that. It's not that they're not good. I think they're great. The three of them are really great performers. They're really great with what they do. But it just, maybe the song, I don't know. I don't, maybe the song wasn't fit. I feel like, especially Sungwon, because like Sungwon, baby, that vocal, he's got a range. Like he's got a higher toned voice. Like I just didn't think it fit his vocal. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite performance. So there's that. The next one we had was Breathe by Lehigh. Y'all. Anshin, Gaehyun, Kangmin. Okay, already a little emo because you guys know me as a very, very stan. Having Kangmin and Gaehyun back singing together is a little emotional, but now we're throwing in Anshin. And I've been telling you guys from the very beginning, I love when we get to see a little bit of an Anshin vocal showcase because Mnet's so shady. They always show him in a practice being like super cracky and like not sounding well, off key, like all this shit. And then he performs on the stage and the man eats. He's like voice of an angel. So I'm just like, y'all are throwing me off. I'm falling for this Mnet shit. I'm like, oh my God, can he sing like this? Can he not? Like, what's good? Girl, this performance, one of my favorite performances. I think this was my second favorite performance of all the Mission songs. They give Kangmin a little bit, or Baekho. So this part had me gagged. They are with Baekho, and I forget who the other master was. I think it was Sakun, Daddy Mnet. I forget. Anyway, so after they do their little like midpoint check, Baekho is like, "Can you guys like come over? Like let's sit in a little round table. We can do a little pep talk." Girl, Baekho comes over here and basically like clocks Kangmin. He clocks Gaehyun too. He's like, first of all, what is this, your 7th year together? Yeah, so basically get it the fuck together or y'all aren't going anywhere. And then they tell Kangmin that needs to pull out the emotion and that he's too mechanical with the emotion of the song and like all the shit. Girl, Baekho drops this shit, gives them trauma, and then goes, oh no, are you crying? Okay, bye. And he like dips, and then Kangmin is just crying. I'm like, we're just gonna make my boy cry like this? Like, this poor boy, like, him and Gaehyun are already having these feels because, you know, being in a group for over 7 years, and then now they're literally having to fight for their lives on a freaking survival show just to, like, you know, get some popularity and, like, be seen and, like, you know, all this shit. And then telling him, like, you know, the emotion is too mechanical, like, you gotta pull out the emotion, it feels fake, it feels like you're acting. Just leaves him crying, leaves Gaehyun confused. Anshin's just over here. Like, it was so bizarre to me. I'm like, okay, just like drop that bomb on him, sure. But this entire performance was one of the best in my opinion. Just vocally, the three, oh my God, I was crying. Their voices make me cry. Gaehyun, we already know. Like, if you're a fan of Very Very, Gaehyun has one of the best vocals I've ever heard in my life. That is a singer to the day comes, man. Like, he is a singer. Kangmin is a vocalist. And Anshin sounded incredible. Kangmin's voice, I think, which this might be a hot take for most people, but Kangmin, I think I liked his vocals on this song out of all three. They all were amazing, incredible. All three made me cry. But Kangmin, there was just like something like, it's so funny how they said to him before, like, you know, you need to work on emotion. Meanwhile, I felt him the most in this performance. Like, as soon as he sang and like some of his parts, genuinely, I felt like my heart was like twisting. He just sounded beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Anshin's tone is so pure and so beautiful. Gaehyun's vocal range is crazy. Like, the three of them really ate down. They really did. I thought that they did incredible and like just one of the best performances. There's really nothing else to say about it other than I was gagged. Very gagged over Kangmin the most, to be honest, but all of them were fantastic. This leads me to my last performance, T, which is Queen Card. Queen Card. So this was Leo, Sunghyun's, Siwon, and Inhu. So what we know, which I don't think they showed this in the package, but I'm pretty sure Leo arranged this performance, like this performance of Queen Card. Producer King. Love him. I think that all of them were great. Once again, another one of my favorite performances. I think Leo is just... That's my number one. I'm sorry. If you guys haven't figured this out by now, there are two people that I came into this show excited for, and it was Hanwen and Leo, and I will forever be a Leo and Hanwen girly. Leo is my one pick of this show, so there's that. So for me, going into this, I like knew that he was gonna eat, and I knew that it was gonna be awesome. Like, he's a vocalist, he's a producer. He has the energy for this type of song in the arrangement that it was arranged in. I thought that Sunghyun also is incredible. I've really grown to like Sunghyun a lot. He's a really great rapper. He has a really great presence. He's super cute, super endearing. Inhu as well has a really great vocal. Siwon has really great vocals as well. It's just... For me, I think that Leo, like, quite literally, like, eats the performance. And in this performance, we have... This man was out here breaking guitars and shit. He's so fine, too. Like, with the black nail polish and that outfit. Incredible. But overall, everyone did really well. I don't know. This performance was weird for me in the sense that, like, I thought that they did really great. Like, I thought all of them did so wonderfully. Once again, I'm a Leo stan, so I was like, oh, surely, like, he's gonna do great things, and then here we are, and he gets the lowest score, and I was like, what are we doing? What are we fucking doing? Dead ass. And I'm not... Here's the thing, is I'm not just saying this, because I try to be as unbiased as possible when it comes to the voting. Like, even though I have my faves, and, like, I'm biased as to who I would vote for, all that... If someone else, like, had a stronger vocal than one another, or, like, XYZ rapper, whatever... I will give them that credit. I genuinely thought that Leo had the strongest vocal in this performance, and I was kind of gagged to see something different in the scores. Not to be shady, but it was a little bit of a setback for me, because I was like, no. And, like, as someone who really, like, hopes that he debuts in this group, it was a little upsetting. But with that being said, all of them did really well. I was happy to see Inhu again, though. Like, I was happy to hear his vocals again, because I feel like I haven't really seen much of him throughout these episodes in a while. So, loved that performance. I wish that we had a better score moment, but it is what it is. Oh, I also just realized, hello, how could I forget that wasn't the last performance? The Stray Kids team was the last performance. Oh my god, the Stray Kids team. We had Stray Kids la 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 la, which, y'all, let's talk about it. Okay, we had Jae, Bowen, Shinlong, Gonu, and Gwangju, or Linlin. So what happens is we have a little moment where during the check with the masters, they basically tell them in terms of choreo, like, they thought that they were eating the choreo, which they were eating down on the choreo. Shinlong was super excited because you guys know he is a JYP boy and he loves Stray Kids. Those are his boys, his friends, and he's been wanting to do something with Stray Kids since the swerving and speeding on Serpent Road. Like, he's been really, really, going hard for it. So they basically tell them that their choreo is no different than a cover dance. Like, basically they didn't add any new elements to the performance itself, so they needed to, like, kind of, like, switch it up a little bit. And then they kind of, like, get together and they have a little chit chat, and they decide that it would be cool to have a little, like, werewolf concept for this particular performance, which I thought was really cool. I love a werewolf performance. I love a werewolf performance, friends. So basically I have one thing written down here from this performance because the entire performance kind of had me gagged, but I think I just was so engulfed into it that I didn't really write a lot of notes down. And the one thing that I did write down in just like all caps is like, Shinlong is a star with a heart. That's what I wrote because he is. My mic hates me today. He is the number one in my book. The face card crazy aura. As soon as he like turned to the camera, the way that he looked at the camera, I genuinely just I need him to debut. Like, thank the Lord that this boy is being placed now. Like, his rank is like almost to the top 8. If not, I think he's in the top 8 because Shinlong deserves to debut. He deserves to debut in this group. He is so incredibly talented. And overall, you know what? I always just ride for the ones that are kind people. And you can tell Shinlong is a deserving, kind human being. I mean, they're all deserving, but like, Shinlong is a sweetheart. And I would love to see him debut here. He's just so talented all around. And he really just like captivated me in this whole performance. Also my son Bowen is always just like so overlooked in my opinion. Jae I have like mixed emotions on because he once again falls in the category of, if we were still voting with just C Planet alone, I feel like he would be high in rank in C Planet, and that makes me sad for Jae because he's really good. Lin did really well too. Like, he is so talented, so talented. Every time I see that boy perform, I'm just like, ooh. He always gives me face too. He's always like glaring, just giving like that face, and like the performance is always spot on. Gonu always does really well as well. I know that obviously like he's like in the top 8. So like face card crazy, performance crazy. But once again, I think no one beats Shinlong for me. And I think whether that be from a bias standpoint or not, sure, because I'm going to be totally biased here and say that like he is the best one for me. So that's where I'm at. So that was those were the performances. When we had our ending moment, we had our ending like scores and stuff like that. In the for vocals, we had the High Key Blossom team ended up placing first, and the losing team was Queen Card, which is so interesting. So interesting to me. That's so interesting. I feel like I can kind of, I don't know, if I do all the mental gymnastics, wrap my head around that potentially, because a lot of the vocal teams were really vocal heavy, like vocal harmony heavy, compared to like Queen Card was more of like a upbeat fun type vibe, which I feel like when we're talking vocals, a lot of people tend to lean more towards like the really heavy like technique of a vocal. So I can kind of see that, but am I happy about it? No, because I love Leo. In the rap, this is such a gag for me. In the rap category, Famous ended up winning and Hot ended up losing. Girl, we need to reverse that. That needs to be the entire opposite. We need to put Hot as number 1 and Famous as last. What are we doing? I'm sorry. No, this is not shade. This is not shade to the 3 very talented human beings in the Famous team. I'm just saying, who are you? Like, these girlies, like these people in the audience voting, you need to get your ears checked. I'm just saying. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to talk about that. That score, when I heard that score, I did all I could to not crash out. So anyway, and in the dance category, we have Stray Kids, la 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 la. They ended up taking the win, and Eve and Like Jenny tied for last, which was crazy. I always feel like any group that has like Sungwon in it is gonna immediately be first place. But seeing that the Stray Kids team won is everything to me. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. I think a lot of it has to do, a lot of these members in that group, people really love. They really love, and they're very popular. I feel like people are overlooking that. And I feel like people are overlooking the current. You bitch. If you do this one more time to me, I'm not playing with you today. People are overlooking the current popularity and rise of Shinlong. And I've been waiting for it, girl. Since day one, I've been a Shinlong stan, and I've just been sitting back being like, it's going to be his time soon. People are going to find out about Shinlong. I'm telling you. And here we are. So there's my tea, friends. All the performances were incredible. You know, in an overall grand scheme of things, like, I have such respect for all these trainees, and I think all of them are so talented. In my opinion, I think they all did really well. Of course, I have my faves and, like, my not so faves, but that still doesn't mean that they didn't perform well and, like, with their whole heart, and they didn't work hard. So congratulations to y'all. I'm scared for the elimination round. I actually didn't even watch the first, like, live portion. I don't even know who's in, like, last, or who's in the, like, we had to vote on someone to save for, like, last place. I don't even know who that's between. I'm, like, scared to go look. But with that being said, we are almost, like, we're literally almost there with Boys Planet. It's so crazy. Like, I can't believe this show is almost over. We're almost getting, like, a debut group. I feel like this show zoomed compared to Boys Planet, like, the first season. But in any case, besties, please let me know what your favorite performance was, from episode 8 and 9, or from this mission, I guess you could say. And of course, any tea that you would like to drop about the show or the trainees, anything, please do below. I'm nosy and I would love to chit chat. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely day, no matter where you are, day or night. Girl, I'm messing up my outro. Have a wonderful day or night, no matter where you are in the beautiful wide world. And until next time, I will see you guys soon. I love y'all. Bye. Mwah.